Everybody, it's Dr. Jason Piken again. Welcome to another episode of the Digestion Diaries. Today we're going to be talking about the topic of fatigue, lack of energy. I'm tired all the time. Maybe not all the time, just maybe too often, and I want more energy. I'm going to try a new format today. What I'm going to be doing is very often how I teach people everything is I look into physical, chemical, and emotional stresses that are causing problems in the body, and I give you fixes that pertain to these stresses. So I'm going to format the video talking about the physical, chemical, and emotional aspects that cause, or stresses that cause, fatigue. So let's start with physical. The first thing that's going to cause fatigue in the physical world is going to be lack of exercise. Now, there also can be overtraining, and you could be a high-end ultramarathoner or a triathlete that exhausts their body because they're training too hard. And that is a sub-niche of people that I see in my office, but the vast majority of people I see actually don't exercise, and that's their big problem. Or maybe they only walk for exercise because we are in New York City and you have to walk everywhere anyway. And so they don't get a lot of stimulation to their body. They're not physically strong. And I'm just here to tell you is if your muscles aren't toned, if you're not physically challenging your body, then your body follows a use it or lose it principle. So if you don't use your body at a high level, your body only gives you the energy it needs to survive. If the vast majority of your day you're either sitting on a couch watching TV or sitting at a desk doing your work, or maybe just standing in place as a teller or something like that, and you're not really moving much, well, you're not asking your body for energy. It's just all mental, it's not really physical. So my first suggestion is if you have low energy and you're not regularly exercising, or if you don't feel like you're exercising with some oomph and you're not building muscle, then that's the first place you should start. And then there are also physical stresses that are on the body. Misalignments, poor posture, crooked necks, high shoulders, forward hips. You can't see my hip here, but these misalignments can be addressed the best through chiropractic care. Now, I do a particular type of chiropractic called Applied Kinesiology, which means what we do in Applied Kinesiology is we study movements of the body. Kinesiology is the study of muscles and movements of the body. And in Applied Kinesiology, we not only assess the posture, but the function or the optimal function of every single muscle in the body. And if you have a muscle that's not functioning properly, well, then it's harder for you to walk around. Let's say your quadricep muscles didn't work right. These are the muscles right here in your thigh, and they didn't work right. Well, that could be caused by a lot of different things. It could be caused by a subluxation, a misalignment of bone in the lumbar spine. It could be a reflex coming from your small intestine. It could be because that muscle has short, tight muscle fibers themselves, or because there's scar tissue or tightness in the hamstrings or IT band. What my job is to do is to find out what is causing the weakness or lack of energy in that muscle and fix it. So if you find a chiropractor that can do applied kinesiology, and heck, even if they can't do applied kinesiology, if they have their own technique that takes physical stress off of your body, well then your body is less burdened and it has more energy. And this is why so many people get up from my adjusting table and say they feel lighter. They feel like they have more energy. They feel more grounded. Because basically what we're doing is releasing stress. Now, let's say you don't have a great chiropractor near you and you love acupuncture. Acupuncture is another way of releasing stress. Massage. Physical therapists can do it. There are a lot of physical ways you can release tension from your body. My suggestion is to find somebody that you like to work with, and if it's working, and if you find out you have more energy by working with them, stick with it. You found something. So there are the physical aspects of how energy can be drained. One, we're not asking our body to do enough. We need to exercise more. Two, there's literally too much physical stress, too much tension on the body, and you need a health practitioner like an applied kinesiologist or chiropractor to help you with that. And then let's move on to the second topic that causes fatigue or lack of energy. Well, that's the chemistry stress. And here I'm going to be talking about two majors. One, the biggest major here is food. So people sometimes ask me, well, what the heck is chemical stress? Well, it has to do with just the chemical makeup of your body. All the hormones and the vitamins and chemical reactions that run your body. And what is the biggest fuel for our energy? Well, it's food. And I have to tell you again, there are very few people that I see in my office that are eating perfectly. There are some, and I'll tell you, those people that are eating perfectly have no energy problems. I will tell you that. Now, do you need to eat perfectly to get over your energy problems? No, but remember, this is a show called, or a video vlog, whatever it is, called the Digestion Diaries. So what I'm going to say is this. If you're eating a food or a group of foods that irritate your digestive tract, that is a huge energy drain to your body. Food has such an important ability to boost your energy, especially if you're eating things that you know are not right. So if you're putting foods in your mouth that bloat you, that cause acid reflux, if you eat foods and they give you a headache, sometimes you can actually eat foods and get tired. Some people get tired after lunch every single day because of the foods they're eating. So what I'm going to tell you to do is to pay attention to your foods. My biggest recommendation is to go through an elimination reintroduction diet. If you contact my office, I'll send you a copy of our leaky gut protocol. It's a PDF that explains what to do during the protocol, and I have a 20-minute video that explains exactly how to go through it. And this is a diet that you can use as a tool, not to just lose weight and to have more energy, but to figure out your relationship with foods and how foods affect you. If you haven't ever done an elimination reintroduction program where basically you eat a limited amount of foods and then slowly reintroduce foods that you weren't eating before, well, then you might not be aware of how foods are affecting you. And besides doing some blood tests and lab tests and stool tests that can tell me this information also, I love people actually taking the action and going through a leaky gut program or a elimination reintroduction program. So contact me for more info on that. Another aspect of chemistry stress that's more passive, that you don't have to do as much work with, is I'm going to tell you a simple trick: B vitamins. Now, if you're taking a multivitamin, it most likely has some B vitamins to it, but you may need more. You may need the right type of B vitamins. There's a difference between a certain type of B12. Let's call it cyanocobalamin. Cobalamin is B12. There's cyanocobalamin, and then there's methylcobalamin. Two different types of the same B12. And some people get more energy when they take one type over another. The same thing with folic acid. Some people take folic acid and don't get any, which is another B vitamin, and don't get any energy. But when they take a certain type of folic acid that's been broken down properly, methyl tetrahydrofolate, they get the energy back. And so what I'm going to tell you to do is get to a practitioner that can really understand what type of nutrients you need, micronutrients, and when you take the right vitamins, I'm going to tell you, you will have more energy. But you can start off just getting a really good quality B vitamin supplement that is water soluble. It's very hard to hurt yourself with this, and take 1 or 2 a day. See how it makes you feel. All right, let's go to the next one. The emotional aspects of stress that drain our energy. And there's 2 things we're going to talk about here. One, sleep. It's another one of the majors, so I have to mention it on so many videos. If you wake up really early, or you don't get enough sleep, or you wake up really early and you don't get enough sleep, well, you're not supposed to be complaining that you're tired at 6, 7 o'clock at night. The body is meant to have at least 7.5 hours sleep. If you want to watch a great interview, I posted it on another Digestion Diary, and I put it out in an email. Basically, Joe Rogan podcast. It's called the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. He just recently did an interview with Matt something that talks about sleep. So you can search for that, but I will have the record of that in the notes right under this video, and hopefully a link to it if my assistants are listening to this right now. And what he says is, in the 21 years that he's been studying sleep, he has not seen one single study that says that people can get less than 7.5 hours and still thrive. Now, just because you can make it through on 6 hours, you can make it through in 5 hours, just because you feel like you have the energy you really want on only 5 or 6 hours sleep, doesn't mean that sometime in the near future you won't suddenly crash because of that sleep deprivation. And if you're not getting that 7.5 hours right now, I'm going to say work on it. Let's say your average is 6.5, which I hear from a lot of patients that work in New York City, and they have these commutes and they have long days at the office. What I tell them is every few weeks, simply try to go to bed 10 minutes earlier and wake up 10 minutes later. That's it. Just that 10 minutes on either side might get you a little bit more sleep. No, you're not getting the 7.5 yet, but every few minutes counts. And personally, I would rather sacrifice an hour or two in front of the TV to get my sleep, because sleep is so greatly important to me. My very bare minimum of sleep that gets me functioning at my best levels is 7 hours. And when it gets 7.5, I'm optimal. So there's your goal, 7.5 hours sleep. That's your activity, because you might need to work on that. And the passive, I'm going to mention some supplements again, some nutrients that help with stress. Now, when you take nutrients that help with stress, what you're really doing is helping either one of two things in your body, your adrenaline system, your way you handle stress from the adrenals, or the brain. And really both of these are brain nutrients. And the number one herb I'm going to tell you to try is ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is an herbal adaptogen. Now, I have at least a dozen, if I'm running through my list of supplements in my head, that work on adrenaline and the stress system and energy in my office. And I probably have 20 of them that I'm just not thinking of, but a dozen pop into my head right now. Everybody needs something different, but if you combine what I said before, taking a B vitamin and taking a supplement called ashwagandha, which is an herb that's an herbal adaptogen, I think you'll have more energy because it works on so many people. So ashwagandha, because it's an adaptogen means it can work in both ways. It can give you energy, it can also put you to sleep or allow you to rest and allow you to wind down. Now, I use a lot of different blends in my office. I believe everybody needs something different. Keep in mind that ashwagandha is a nightshade. What that means is some people are sensitive to the herb. It can cause inflammation, it can cause problems in people, but ashwagandha is something that's very well tolerated by most people. And I want to review everything I just said. If you have physical stress on your body, go see a chiropractor, applied kinesiologist, physical therapist, massage therapist, and you got to exercise. You got to start moving your body. If you have chemical stresses because you're eating the wrong foods and irritating your gut, it's going to drain your energy. And I want you to start eating better, maybe through an elimination reintroduction diet. Call us for help or email me. And if you're not taking B vitamins, start taking them. And for the emotional aspects of stress, what we need is the proper amount of sleep. Our goal is going to be 7.5 hours. And what we're also going to be wanting is maybe to try some ashwagandha to help to see if it'll help us wind down and get some better sleep at the end of the day, and to see if it'll lift us up in the morning. Okay? I hope those bits of information help. I know I didn't get really specific on doses with the B vitamins or doses with the ashwagandha, but I really feel it's unwise to tell people exactly what doses to take when I don't know anything about you. This information is meant to spark your curiosity, to look some things up on the internet, to call your doctor, your health practitioner, your herbalist, your naturopath. Just contact me for more help. I hope this information helps you to learn more, and if it does, pass it on to somebody else. Have more energy and have a better day.